video is going to be a little bit different. I have ordered some of the new 8BitDo controllers to pair up with my Nintendo Switch, and also just because I really like the new design of the SF30, and from memory they used to be called the SFC30. So the reason why I got both is because the packaging has slightly changed. I do have one of these, an older one, but I thought I'd get a pair of new ones just for the sake of getting them. They are for sale in Australia now. This one only just come out. So let's have a look at what the differences are in the packaging. So they now come with hang tabs. That could possibly be because retailers like eBay are selling them now in Australia. So I'd say it's more for display purposes, because they definitely weren't like this before. So opening the SF30, I'm going to have to get used to saying that because, yeah, it's a little bit different. They have plastic packaging on the inside now. And this has actually changed. Before, it was 2 pieces of cut foam that the controller used to sit into. This is much better, much sturdier. And you used to have to lift up like a base plate to get into the cable. So, yes, definitely a little bit different now. So, but nothing else physically has changed on the original controller. It looks exactly the same as it used to. Yeah, so on the back it still does say SFC30. So I'm not sure branding wise why they've made that change, and I'm sorry if I continue to keep referring it to the SFC. It's just because I'm so used to it. The packaging design, I believe, has also changed because before it didn't have the switch on there. So this does look slightly different, these bottom text, and it's still compatible with Switch, Mac, Android, Windows, Steam, and your Raspberry Pi from, I think it's probably a Pi 2 onwards. So yeah, it's a gorgeous controller. I am not a huge fan of aftermarket items, but I do think that the 8BitDo team have absolutely excelled with these controllers. I really do like them. So that's the first one. We'll move that out of the road. And this is the new Pro controller. So the original controller was the NES style coloring, and I've really been hanging out for the SNES one. Of course I love the NES, but the Pro was never really my cup of tea. I didn't really like it too much. I always aimed for this one. So let's have a look at this one. So SF30 Pro Bluetooth gamepad. What's interesting about this is that it does say that it's going to have rumble, vibration, motion controls. So that's a new thing, I'm pretty sure, because these don't have that capability, and I'm not sure if the old Pro did. So possibly that's new. Again, the packaging is different on this controller compared to what the old Pro controllers used to look like. They did to have that foam cutout, then a board, and you have to lift it up to get the stuff out in the bottom. So I really do think that the packaging, they've gotten much better, much more advanced. This controller is much heavier than I had thought it was going to be, and it's definitely heavier than this one, but granted it does have more features and more things going on for it, with the 2 toggles. And yeah, it's pretty gorgeous looking, isn't it? This one does say SF30, but this is their brand new range, so they're obviously rebranding. So L&R, L&R2, and your normal gamepad buttons. I believe this is also available in the American colors, so the purples. And obviously your setting buttons, that must be them on the front there. So there's 2 buttons on the front. Haven't used it yet, just got this out of the box and thought I'd do a quick video. Its capabilities again are for Switch, Mac, Android, Windows, Steam and Raspberry Pi, so 2 and above. And it's really interesting to think that this has got 16 hours of play with 1 to 2 hours of charging time. I think that's pretty incredible. So overall, I definitely am impressed by the new packaging. I've just got to get it in my head about the name of it now. And on comparison, that is the two controllers. The size and the mold is obviously the same. But yeah, they've somehow got the toggles on there. So the joysticks, it looks really incredible, this controller. I'm very, very impressed. Again, the weight difference is slightly more heavier, but it just feels so well made and so sturdy. These do too, so don't get me wrong. If you're not opting to go the Pro route, this one is, you know, obviously really good as well. And I have the older models of these, an old one. So yeah, thank you very much. What I'm going to do is get started on syncing this now to use it on my Switch and test it out. Hey guys, I'm going to attempt to pair the new SF30 Pro 8BitDo controller to the Switch. I've turned my Switch on. I'm going to go to controllers and then change grip order. And then from here on this controller, I'm going to turn it on, which is start and Y. And the buttons should start moving down the bottom. And then I'm going to hit the pair button and hold that in for 2 seconds. That's how easy it is. All I did was hit the pair button. The pair button is located on the top. Sorry, it's not adjusting properly, but the pair button is just right here. So the controller is now synced straight out of the box with my Nintendo Switch. So the 8BitDo icon on this corner just takes you back to the home screen. So I'm just going to mute this and maybe give Sonic Mania a bit of a go, all with this controller. I'm going to close Breath of the Wild and start the Sonic one. Oh, I've actually gone into the wrong account. Oh no, it'll work. This is one account that I had to set up because this was a US version of the game. They didn't do the special collector's edition in Australia. So start. Let's just see how responsive it is. Let's go okay, okay, okay. It's a pretty cool little controller. It feels really, really good. I'm also able to use the joysticks as well and the D-pad. So again guys, I highly recommend this controller. It feels really, really good. It's very, very responsive with both the D-pad and the joysticks. And to do it straight out of the box, there was no firmware update required for this to pair with my Switch. I just took it out of the box, I unboxed it as shown just before. I read through the instructions, of course. I had paired this previously with an SFC30. Oh, blue. Sorry, I wasn't concentrating. And this was really, really easy. So I'm going to put it on charge just because it is straight out of the box. And yeah, keep playing with it. Thank you for tuning in.